Oscar Buzz Trevor here, as always, with Thomas, and we are here with our review of the latest Pixar film, that being Lightyear. We were pretty divided on Pixar's first film of the year, Turning Red. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Thomas did not.
Didn't really like it.
But we are here to talk about Lightyear. Thomas, this is one of your most anticipated of the
It
year.
was. As a big fan of the Toy Story franchise and of Pixar in general, I was very looking forward to this one.
Yeah, so I'll let you lead. What are some of your opening thoughts?
Okay, so I'll start with saying I don't think it disappointed me, which is good. Like, I did have big aspirations for it. I don't think it hit all of them, but, I didn't come away from the film feeling unsatisfied. It definitely wasn't the film I thought it was going to be, and that's a good thing. I had a feeling it might just end up being sort of an actiony blockbuster thing. I was like, I don't really need to see this. But instead, it actually did feel like a proper science fiction film. And I was pleasantly surprised by that. It does touch on interesting concepts. I don't think it goes fully into them, like maybe a film like a lot of people have going to Interstellar or something of that vein. I don't think it goes into them that much, but I mean, it's a children's film. But like, I'm sure Interstellar would be quite boring for most children, considering I find it a little tedious at points. So, I do think it does strike the balance well between action and these sort of sci-fi concepts. I do love all the references to Toy Story and the original trilogy. Yes, it is a bit nostalgia pandering, but it works for me. With lines like just about all of the lines that you just hear that you recognize, because especially I binged the Toy Story films day before watching it, so like I could pick up on most of the references. And I'd say Buzz Lightyear as a character, very interesting one. Like, I think his arc actually is very well handled. It's not the most groundbreaking arc. Exactly. It's a pretty simple arc, but in the way it was handled, I think it was handled well. And I actually do think, whilst you do point to the more simplistic themes of like working as a team and not worrying about mistakes. I do think there is something more to it about like acceptance and like accepting that not all situations can be good, and like especially COVID and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah, like the themes of like I guess making the most of a bad situation. That's quite resonant, and so it's not my favorite ever Pixar film. It's not really doing anything groundbreaking, but overall, I pretty enjoyed it.
Yeah, I thought this film was fine. Like, I found it entertaining enough. As far as like summer blockbusters, it's definitely a step above stuff like Doctor Strange and Jurassic World, which I didn't like, and I was bored and I hated watching. I didn't dislike watching this movie. Like, I wouldn't actively seek out watching it again, but if it was on, like, I might sit down and like watch part of it. I mean, it's a very obvious film. I really don't feel like this moves past the surface level. It presents a lot of concepts, including, like messing with time travel and like how different choices can have different consequences, right? And all of those things, it's like it gives us the concept and then that's it. I don't think we really explore that concept in any meaningful capacity, which is fine. But like it also isn't like that special. I mean, we've seen those concepts done before and explored in interesting ways. So I don't know why we needed this. The framing of the movie was so weird, of it being Andy's favorite movie.
Yeah, I know. It's like, is this any child's favorite movie? I know, but I mean, and it does also sort of detract somewhat, because you are made aware of the fact right from the beginning that you are watching a film, and like it does sort of take you out of it a bit, but I don't think it's too detrimental.
It's just kind of dumb.
It's just kind of like I don't think we needed that. I'm sure like we could have just had the Lightyear and just go straight into the film.
Yeah. So like I don't know. This film left me both wanting more and wanting less at the same time, because simultaneously I think it drags a bit through everything.
Yeah, I do think it does somewhat go from action set piece to action set piece to action set piece.
Yeah.
And like, but some of those could have been cut. Put it that way.
Yeah. Like if the way in which it was presented, it feels very, very repetitive. And if they were going to make this kind of film, then it needed to be cut down a bit, because like there was a certain point like in between the second and third act where like everything just meshes together for me. Like and it's at the point where like I can't distinguish what scene came before another scene. And so a couple scenes didn't really need to happen before other scenes. Like there was just like 3 or 4 action set pieces in a row that could have been in any order. Like there was no need for them to come in the specific order that they did.
I think actually a good comparison can be made to Onward there, because I think Onward does a similar thing where it does just sort of go from set piece to set piece to set piece. But I do think that works better because they do take a lot more moments to breathe and to explore the character
I agree. I prefer it
relationships. And I think the action set pieces there are more differing, whereas this is sort of just space battle, space battle, space battle, if that makes sense.
I'd agree. And also in this, a lot of the characters do feel one-dimensional. Like, all of
Yeah, I
them
would
have
agree with that.
one
Yeah.
problem that they're trying to overcome, and then they try to overcome that problem.
Yeah.
Like, we could have taken time in between those action set pieces to actually explore these characters more and to actually dive in deeper into a lot of these sci-fi. So, like, I think this could have either done a bit more or done a bit less, and I wouldn't have really minded either. But we're just in this like weird in-between space where it kind of half does everything without fully committing to anything.
I will say as well, some of the emotion did feel a little forced. Like, I do think Pixar now has sort of got themselves into a situation where they feel like they have to put an emotional moment in every film. I think it doesn't work terribly, but I think it did feel a bit like watching. I felt this feels a bit
I felt a bit
emotionally
disconnected
manipulative.
emotionally.
Yeah,
personally.
yeah.
Like, yeah. I don't know. Michael Giacchino's score, like, okay, Michael Giacchino is one of my favorite composers. His score is good, but it's also, he literally just copy-pasted his Star Trek score. Like,
Yeah.
let's be honest.
Yeah,
I mean,
sort of tried to paint it as, homage to these scores, but really it's just,
you
basically,
just copy-pasted your Star Trek
basically the
score,
same.
okay?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So the one thing that everybody's talking about, which I do agree with, Socks is very fun. Socks the robot cat. I had fun with Socks. It's the only times where I laughed during the film where the humor actually worked for me. There's without spoilers, there's a fun thing where something shoots out of his mouth. And the timing of that is very fun. I don't know, it has very good comedic timing. So like, yeah, Socks was fun. I don't think that he's like, the best Pixar character ever, as people are saying. But like, he's fun.
No.
He's a fun side character. I enjoyed him.
Yeah.
I don't know. Any other thoughts before we give a rating?
I will say, because we haven't mentioned the animation, I really do like this style of animation. It is beautiful. Like, and the shot is in the trailer, but the one where he's standing by the window and just looking out, and that is a really, really beautiful shot. And like, just the animation in general.
Like, obviously it's fake, but like, the lighting is gorgeous. There's a couple of scenes where they're walking on a planet and it's dark, and it does like kind of like the moving around, keeping the character in the center of the frame. And looking at the background, like, it felt like a shot from Nomadland, but in space. Kind of wish I'd seen it in IMAX, I'll be honest.
That would have been quite something, I'm sure. Also, Chris Evans, like, I know people do complain that Tim Allen isn't the role. I think Chris Evans voices him pretty perfectly enough. Like, I don't think you could want more.
I mean, he feels like Captain America at points.
Yeah, I know.
With like certain lines of dialogue, because like Buzz Lightyear and Captain America are kind of the same character.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will say, without spoilers, there is a role that comes in right in the third act, where it would have been so easy and so obvious to put Tim Allen there, and I kind of wanted them to. I see what you mean. I feel like that would have made a lot of sense and would have been very fun to have Tim Allen in that role.
Yeah, no, I do kind of wish they did that as well. I mean, I can see why they didn't, just to keep continuity wise,
but it also would have been kind of fun.
Yeah.
Like, because I get why they didn't do Tim Allen for the main Buzz, because it's a different Buzz. Like, I get that. Like, this was movie Buzz, that Tim Allen was toy Buzz. But there was also a perfect place. And maybe they did ask him and he said no.
Which is, fair enough.
Which is also very possible.
Yeah, he's been playing the role since 1995, so...
Right.
Yeah, I can see why you may want to step away from that.
Right. But, yeah, overall, like, I thought it was fine. It was entertaining enough. I didn't get bored, except, like, kind of in, like, that second to third act, when it was just, like, action set piece. Oh, and then another one. Oh, and then another one. But... yeah, it was fine. I'll be giving this a 6 out of 10.
I'll go with a 7.5. I think it does hit all the right buttons in terms of pushing that Toy Story nostalgia. I'm also just quite a fan of sci-fi in general, so seeing a Pixar sci-fi film is cool to see. But yeah, like, there are flaws with it, definitely. So yeah, 7.5 I think is where I land on it.
Quick Oscars talk. It's definitely getting nominated for animation.
Yeah, I'd be very surprised if it didn't get nominated.
I don't think it's picking up anything else. It doesn't feel like something that would get score. Like, as Pixar movies have in the past, I mean, Up got a score nom. I think WALL-E got a score nom. So, like, we've seen this happen before. I don't know. I don't feel like Lightyear will get anything more than just animation.
No, I would agree. Yeah.
I think Pixar will, unfortunately, likely push this harder than Turning Red, even though Turning Red was far better received critically and by audiences. So this will be Pixar's biggest push. We'll see how it competes against Strange World. Plus, we have Pinocchio from GDT, and My Father's Dragon from Cartoon Saloon. So, like,
I mean, I even find it hard to believe it won't be in contention. Because I mean, even though Luca, you know, it was never really going to win, it still managed to be pretty up there the entire year. So, like, Pixar know what they're doing. So,
yeah,
I don't think it will win, but I find it hard to believe it's not going to at least stay in the top three.
Yeah, I think both Pixar movies are going to be solidly in.
Yeah, yeah. I'd say Turning Red maybe number 4 or 5.
Lightyear is more solid.
Yeah.
But I know, I think we'll end up with both of them in. I mean, just like last year, like we kept on trying to like take out Raya and the Last Dragon, which I know is Disney, but like we kept on trying to take it out, and it was like, okay, it never was anything else. It's just in. And I think we'll see a similar thing with Turning Red. This doesn't feel like a winner to me. Like watching
it doesn't feel like a winner to me.
Like I said, it might be like a Toy Story 4 winner, like where it's like, oh, okay, well, I guess we're just going to do this because it's the only thing. But like I just looking at some of the other ones, like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Soul, like Encanto, all those were like cultural phenomenons or like, you know, game-changing animation films like Coco before.
Yeah.
Like Lightyear just doesn't like the spin-off to the 4-movie Toy Story franchise that people think is just like fine with like a 60 on Metacritic. Is that really gonna be the best animated feature winner? I don't know. I really don't know. You can find out our full thoughts and our Oscars predictions coming up soon. As of now, I think it's gonna get an animated feature nom.
It's gonna get
nothing else. And I think we can almost lock that in.
Yeah, for sure.
But anything else you want to say before we head out?
No, I think we've covered it all. You know, I'd still recommend going seeing it. Like, put it that way. I'd still recommend going to see it.
I want to make it clear. I didn't dislike the movie. I just thought it was fine.
Yeah.
It's okay. But thank you everybody so much for watching.